Good evening, parents. Welcome to MacArthur's 2020-2021 open house. We have a lot to present to you tonight, so we're going to go ahead and get started. But first, I'd like to introduce you to the MacArthur team. Joining us tonight, we have both assistant principals, Miss Christina Kang and Mr. Steve Bayuk.
Hello.
Good evening, parents.
We have one of our school counselors, Miss Lori Tristan.
Hello.
We're joined tonight by our office staff, Mrs. Anna Garcia, our technician.
Hi, good evening.
Our discipline secretary, Mrs. Salazar. Our FACE liaison, Mr. Johan Arana. And we are going to introduce our teachers by department. So joining us tonight from our language arts department, we have Miss Christina Barber. From our science department, we have Miss Susan Gallagher and Miss Esther Flores. From our social studies department, we have Miss Sandy Palmer, Mr. Peter Boyd, and Miss Tammy Mansky. From our PE department, we have Miss Christine Croyer and Mr. Tim Fredrickson. From electives, we have Miss Mansky again, our AVID teacher. Dr. Holcroft, our instrumental music teacher. Miss Cunningham, our art teacher. Miss Barber again, teaching Spanish. And I think that's all of them. And we have our educational specialist, Miss Reyes and Miss Lizarraga. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Again, I'd like to welcome everybody. Obviously, this is not the typical way we have our open house, so we got a little creative. We're going to kind of show you, there's two parts to tonight's open house. We're going to show you kind of the school-wide events that have taken place throughout the year. And then at the end of this, you will receive an email with your student's schedule and links to each of your students' teachers' presentations, so you can see what's going on inside each of their classrooms. So as you know, we've had to get creative with how to support our students and how to provide them with unique opportunities, and we want to share those with you from the very first day of school, and actually even before that, with summer planning and how we were able to meet the needs of our students and community.
Muy buenas tardes, familias de la Escuela MacArthur. Es un placer que nos estén acompañando en esta tarde. Muchas gracias por estar aquí en nuestra open house, que es virtual esta noche. No como los años anteriores cuando es en persona, pero esta vez es virtual, así que tuvimos que improvisar y hacer algo diferente. Así que el día de hoy introducieron a todos los maestros que son aquí, el personal de la escuela, que acaban de introducir. Y después de esta presentación que le vamos a hacer un repaso de lo que hemos hecho desde el principio del año hasta ahorita. Después de esta presentación, usted va a recibir un correo electrónico donde usted va, ya sea usted o su hijo, con los enlaces de las presentaciones que han hecho los maestros, de lo que han hecho también ellos durante el año escolar. Entonces, después de que terminen aquí en YouTube, ustedes van a chequear su correo electrónico para ver esas presentaciones que los maestros han creado para ustedes y sus familias.
All right, so we'll go ahead and get started. So as I mentioned, we had to find creative ways to meet the needs of our students and our staff. And This kind of started with program verification during the summer. We had to find a new way to distribute textbooks, get students their schedules, and get them all the supplies they needed for that first day of school. And so what we decided to do was have a drive-through program verification. We were able to serve all 1,200 of our students over 2 days, get them all the supplies they needed, art supplies, supplies for AVID, for math, social studies, and get them their schedule, most importantly, so they knew which class to show up to on the first day of school. It was also the first time that we saw a lot of our students in months, and so it was a very rewarding day for us as educators to be able to see our students and just see the smiles on their face and know that they were doing okay.
Así que durante el verano hubo mucha planificación para el año escolar que iba a ser virtual, así que empezamos el año escolar, bueno, antes de que empezara el año, el agosto 6 del 2020, tuvimos verificación de programa que fue estilo drive-thru, así que en este drive-thru miramos a muchos de nuestros estudiantes por primera vez. Los estudiantes pudieron recoger sus útiles escolares que necesitaran para las clases, libros de sus clases, y también hubo una oportunidad de que ellos miraran a los maestros también aquí en persona. Y así que aquí hay unas fotos de este día que tuvimos, que fue un sábado, y donde todos los estudiantes pudimos servir a los 1,200 estudiantes aquí en la escuela para darle todos los útiles y todos los recursos que ellos necesitaran para empezar el año escolar con todo.
Hi. So one of our bigger challenges at the beginning of the school year was having the staff be able to introduce themselves to students in a more personal way. And so one of the things that our school decided to do was to share a little bit of information about themselves on the first day of school with these little forms that you see here in the images. So if you notice, some of the things that they shared were what year they were at MacArthur, how many years they were at MacArthur, what their positions were at MacArthur, what they enjoyed doing, as well as their favorite quote. So for example, if you see, let's take a look at Mrs. Reyes is there. It's her first year at MacArthur. We welcome her, and she came from the elementary school, and her position as a special ed teacher. She loves hiking. I believe it says hiking there. And she has a wonderful quote there, but I can't really read it right now because it's so tiny. But I see Ms. Barber's, hers says, "Be the change," from Gandhi. So that's a good one. So just little ways that we were able to share with students little personal tidbits about ourselves so that the kids got a little more information about each teacher and staff member. If you see, we have our counselor and we have other members as well. Mr. Gonzalez is right smack in the middle.
Así que también para nosotros fue un poco difícil que los estudiantes conocieran a sus maestros y el personal de la escuela, ya que todo era virtual. Así que también fuimos creativos, y el primer día de clases hicimos que los maestros llenaran un documento donde ellos hablaban un poco sobre ellos y qué es lo que les gusta hacer y qué es lo que enseñan aquí en la escuela y cuántos años han estado aquí en la escuela MacArthur. Así que la mayoría de los maestros completó esto y mandamos esto por las redes sociales y todo eso para que los estudiantes también puedan conocer un poco más a los maestros, ya que muchos los estudiantes nuevos que vienen de sexto grado y los otros que a lo mejor nunca han tenido un maestro, aquí podían aprender ellos un poquito más sobre cada uno de ellos.
All right, and then we come to our first day of school, which for us was very exciting to start school, but it was so different. We weren't starting school in the traditional way that we always do, where we get to greet our students and meet them for the first time. We were starting virtually, so that was a challenge that we overcame through technology and just creativity, trying to determine okay, well, if you're at school, we know what to do. We'll post your schedule, show you around, and you'll find your classes. Well, how do you do that on Zoom when everyone's at home? So we came up with a great system to send everyone their schedule digitally and create these virtual digital schedules where students could find their classes. And, it was a unique situation for all of us. And I know that for everyone it was challenging, but I feel like as a team, MacArthur really overcame that challenge so we could start the year off really, really strong. And as you can see, these are some great pictures from students who submitted. I think we had a contest at the time to submit photos of yourself, your first day of school, and those are some of those photos of kids starting on that first day. And it was different, but I will say that our Tigers are strong and confident, and we were able to overcome, and we had a great start to the year.
Así que si recuerdan, agosto 17 del 2020 fue el primer día de clases para todos los estudiantes de Santana y fue algo diferente ya que no iban a tener que llevarlos a ningún lado, sino que iban a estar directamente en sus casas, en sus computadoras. Así que nosotros tuvimos que ser un poco creativos, mandamos los horarios de sus clases con sus maestros en línea para que ellos tuvieran un schedule de qué salón tienen que ir en qué día. Y también para que ellos también se motivaran, hicimos un concurso de que nos mandaran fotos de su primer día de clases, de cómo tienen cómo están trabajando, su área de trabajo, y todos los estudiantes estaban contentos de esto. Así que nosotros aquí pueden ver unas fotos que los estudiantes nos mandaron para mostrarnos cómo hicieron su primer día de clases para el nuevo grado, y todo eso fue virtual. Así que sabemos que nuestros estudiantes son fuertes y siempre pueden sobresalir de todos los obstáculos. Así que este fue un obstáculo que ellos sobresalieron, empezar la escuela virtual, y hasta ahorita todo va bien y esperamos que así continúe, pero ya esperamos también verlos pronto en persona.
One of the other challenges that we faced was how do we support our kids across our virtual campus. They're not all here at once. It's not so simple as walking to a classroom and asking a kid to step out so we could have a friendly chat with them, or call them to the office so we could see how we could better support our students. This was probably our biggest challenge, and so we had to get creative. There's only a few of us that were on site, and there's 1,200 students, and so we got creative, and we feel like we met the challenge of our students, or the needs of our students, and kind of rise to the occasion. So we did a lot of home visits. We sometimes had to split them up. We had to go to homes to do tech support, when kids were not able to connect for whatever reason. Sometimes it meant switching out a Chromebook. We delivered supplies to our students for kids who were families who were experiencing hardships and couldn't get the resources that they typically could. We also had to keep our kids motivated, and so we had challenges like quote of the week, and just different contests throughout the school year to keep kids engaged and keeping them sharp and motivated to come back each and every day. And I will say that MacArthur has consistently had the best attendance across the district, week in and week out. We get weekly reports of what our attendance is for online, and we have been number one, I would say, most of the weeks, and a couple of weeks we kind of slid down to number two, but I question the validity of those weeks. So we've done a great job of keeping kids coming back and keeping them engaged and offering them the support that they needed to stay connected to our teachers. So something that I'm very proud of as the principal, and it's this team here and the ones who couldn't make it tonight that made it all happen. So thank you to them and to you as parents for supporting us at home, because it would not work so well if it was just us trying and not you.
También aquí estamos mostrando diferentes cosas de cómo nosotros apoyamos a los estudiantes durante este cierre de la escuela. Entonces, hicimos muchas visitas a casas, a ayudar a estudiantes que no se podían conectar, que tenían problemas técnicos, a lo mejor familias que ocupaban tecnología o que ocupaban materiales. Pudimos ir a diferentes casas a distribuir materiales para que su hijo o su hija pueda sobresalir este año escolar. También habieron diferentes competencias el año escolar para seguir motivando a los estudiantes para que sigan y no se vayan cayendo o desmotivando. Entonces tuviéramos diferentes concursos donde les regalábamos mercancías de la escuela MacArthur, a veces el director llevaba lonche, y las familias se ponían contentas cuando nosotros llegábamos a casa como grupo para poder motivar a las familias y verlos pues en persona. Pero todo esto fue gracias a todo el personal aquí de la escuela y también a ustedes padres por apoyarnos desde casa.
Okay, so as you all know, there was a challenge with Halloween because students love this holiday, but unfortunately, with our shelter in place, children couldn't do the usual trick-or-treating activities. And even though this wasn't a school site challenge, we realized that maybe we can help out with giving some kind of way to do a Halloween. So luckily we had a wonderful staff who just really took the reins and decided to come up with this trunk or treat drive through for October 30th. And they came up with ways to have our students on campus. So with our trunk or treat drive through, if you guys came, you know that we had little stations with different themes. And if you notice here, we have our Star Wars one. And we also had teachers come on out and other staff members come and join us and got dressed up and passed out candy. So it was just a way for us to see you guys and also give little treats. And it was such a pleasure to see all of the families for this event and also see our teachers on campus, seeing our students.
El primer evento que tuvimos en la escuela después de que fue drive-thru también fue el de Trunk or Treat, que fue para el día antes de Halloween. Esto es algo que planeamos como escuela para poder nuevamente ver a nuestros estudiantes en persona, aunque sea dentro del carro, pero también para que los maestros puedan ver a muchos estudiantes miraban a sus maestros y fue otro tipo de motivación para que los estudiantes sepan que aquí estamos para apoyarlos, para lo que necesiten. Así que aquí diferentes familias vinieron, tuvimos a más de, yo creo que 400, 500 familias que vinieron, les dimos dulces y miraron los diferentes carros que decoramos y todos nosotros nos divertimos y nos vestimos de algún tema para que los estudiantes nos puedan ver. Así que este fue en octubre 30 y fue algo grande y algo muy que no se pudo hacer pues con el apoyo de todos los maestros y el personal de la escuela y también gracias a ustedes por siempre crear en nuestros eventos y siempre acompañarnos.
About the second week of school, I realized that without students on campus, there wasn't a whole lot to do, and I got kind of bored, and so I realized I should probably find something meaningful to do. I'm partially joking. There's always a lot to do on campus, but I just realized that I missed the connection with the kids, and so I created a challenge, a quote of the week challenge, and luckily I had the support of the admin team and everybody in the office to cover me while I went out and delivered lunch to kids each week. And it really was the highlight of the week. It's something that I look forward to, just seeing our kids and rewarding them for participating in something like the quote of the week. It wasn't just me; it was the entire team, and it was probably the one thing that kept me from going insane those first couple of months before we opened up our learning labs. Was just being able to connect with our kids, see the smiling faces. And some of them were shocked that their principal was delivering them lunch to their house, but it was a positive experience, and it kind of promoted a different level of scholarship on our campus and getting kids to think critically about quotes and what they mean and how they could use them in their own life. So probably by far my favorite event, but I might be a little biased.
Algo también que empezó el director González después como de 1 o 2 semanas después de que empezáramos las clases virtuales fue que hizo una competencia donde él citaba diferentes personas ya sea famosas o historias donde ellos tenían que decir qué significa cada cita para ellos y él seleccionaba al que más se explicaba más. Así que tenían que seguir ciertas reglas en el correo electrónico y todo eso. Así que eso fue algo que él decidió hacer porque al principio pues quería pues seguir motivando a los estudiantes y quería ver las caras de los estudiantes y cada vez que les mandaba el almuerzo, entonces miraba las sonrisas y todo eso era para que los estudiantes siguieran y también él como director siguiera adelante. Y dice que es algo de lo más mejor que piensa que ha hecho aquí en la escuela.
Was that my joke at the end, Mr. Rona?
Yeah, it wasn't really a joke.
Okay, I try.
All right. One of the great things that we do here at MacArthur for our families is we have wonderful family nights. And a tradition here at MacArthur is to have these STEM nights or science nights that, when we were on campus, were just amazing events organized by our wonderful science teacher, Mrs. Flores. And she would have students come on campus from college students and do different activities, and we wanted to keep that spirit alive, so we recreated these STEM nights virtually, and we were able to get support by students from UCI. And then we recently are partnering with OC Science and STEAM for All, and those are high school students who do presentations. So if you've ever joined us for one of our virtual family STEM nights, then you know how fun and interactive they can be. And you can see the pictures there. That's just a small fraction of the great fun that we always have with our families in those virtual STEM nights. So we hope you continue to join us for those. We have a great time. We always provide kits so you could follow along and do the different experiments at home. And it is a great time for everybody. It's all very interactive, very fun, and just another way for us to connect with you, even though we're apart.
Algo que hacíamos antes, bueno, la maestra Flores hacía antes nada más con sus estudiantes de sus salones, pero después lo hicimos un poco más grande, invitamos a toda la escuela, eran las noches familiares de ciencia. Entonces, cuando esto era en persona, venían diferentes científicos y diferentes personas de diferentes carreras, ingenieros y todo eso, donde venían ellos aquí a la escuela y hacían presentaciones para los estudiantes. Eso fue un éxito total durante el año escolar, decidimos continuar esto haciéndolo virtualmente. Entonces, con la ayuda de la señora Flores, con el grupo de estudiantes de OC Science, STEM for All y otros ingenieros que eran voluntarios de la Universidad de Irvine, podemos continuar esto y siempre nosotros proveemos el kit de lo que va a necesitar su hijo o hija para que ellos participen, y eso regularmente lo hacemos en las tardes, y hay un día que usted reserva su lugar y ya después viene aquí. Pero aquí hay algunas fotos de las diferentes actividades que hicimos este año escolar. La última fue este mes, este mes que hicimos la foto que está aquí abajo, donde hay bombones y diferentes actividades que pudimos hacer. También pudimos plantar suculentes y diferentes, todas estas son diferentes actividades que hicimos también con estos estudiantes de preparatoria y también con otros científicos que son voluntarios. Entonces, esperamos continuar esto el año entrante y esperemos que ustedes también nos sigan apoyando.
We also made an intentional effort to recognize all of our students that were kind of persevering through the challenges and still achieving academic excellence. And so we had our traditional student of the month, in which we, each month we would have our teachers nominate one student for character trait of the month and then one for student of the month based on academics. And we rewarded them with not only a certificate, but with food certificates to In-N-Out, Cane's, BJ's, and Chick-fil-A. And they were all those companies, and I want to give them a shout out, were generous enough to give us several hundred food certificates each so we could accomplish this. And they were just so kind, and they continue to support us in many of our events that we have. So big shout out and thank you to In-N-Out, Cane's, Chick-fil-A, and BJ's, and Baskin Robbins. We wanted those kids who were meeting the challenges and finding ways to succeed to be recognized and not just be kind of forgotten. So we have, each month this year, acknowledged about 40 to 60 kids each month for their achievements.
También este año escolar tuvimos los estudiantes del mes, así que cada mes los maestros seleccionaban un estudiante entre lo académico y un estudiante sobre los rasgos de carácter. Entonces, cada mes era un diferente carácter que ellos tenían que practicar y el otro era académico. Así que cada maestro seleccionaban dos estudiantes y ellos iban a ser reconocidos durante el segmento de la mañana que hacen todos los viernes o lunes. y también venían a la escuela a recoger sus certificados y también muchas gracias a Chick-fil-A, Cane's, BJ's, Dave and Buster's y
In and
In-N-Out,
out.
In-N-Out, porque ellos siempre han donado todos estos cupones para que sigamos apoyando a nuestros estudiantes.
And a big thank you to our PFO for donating about $200 worth of gift cards to pass out to our students for different awards and accomplishments.
También muchas gracias al PFO que ha donado como $200 de tarjetas de regalo para hacer esto también un poco más interesante y que los estudiantes sigan creciendo.
Okay, so in extension to our recognizing our students, we also wanted to recognize our first semester award students. And we found it obviously challenging to do that during distance learning. But again, we did a drive-through for this event, and it was just about a month ago. And we had so many people attend. We also had so many staff members as well. We had our wonderful, amazing ASB led by Mrs. Tristan. They did a great job just cheering on our students and helping out with passing out certificates and other items as well. Mr. Arana and other staff members helped with creating these cute little goodie bags and just preparing those for our students. And we had several awards. We had the Principals Awards and Excellence and Perseverance Awards, also just for those students that just really showed us that they were persevering during this distance learning. We had speech and debate medals passed out, and we just had a wonderful turnout from everybody.
También el último evento que hemos tenido fue para reconocer a los estudiantes del primer semestre que recibieron buenas calificaciones, así que tuvimos el certificado de honor y también el certificado del director. Entonces, estos estudiantes recibieron una invitación por Parent Square, también sus padres, y tuvimos aquí presentes el liderazgo de ASB aquí en la escuela. Ellos nos apoyaron con diferentes maneras para poder motivar a los estudiantes y hacerlo un poco más de ambiente. Entonces tuvimos la oportunidad de que los estudiantes se bajaran del carro, se tomaran fotos y tuvimos muy buena participación de los padres. Tuvimos alrededor de 300 familias que vinieron, les dimos una bolsa de aguinaldo y nada más fue un placer mirar a todos los estudiantes pasar y tomarse la foto con el director. Entonces, muchas gracias a todos los padres que nos acompañaron a este evento. Y este sábado vamos a tener un evento similar que va a ser el Final Countdown, el conteo regresivo final, así que si nos pueden apoyar y venir ese sábado, a favor de reservar usando Parent Square, y va a ser algo así similar como esto, donde el estudiante se puede también bajar y tomar una foto con sus maestros o el director o el personal que esté ahí en esa área.
All right, another exciting thing that took place this year, which was, obviously this is a very different year, as we've already said, everything is virtual, but we knew, and the school district knew, that some kids would really benefit from the ability to come on campus and do their virtual learning, but here on campus, which means they would have really strong internet and supplies that they would need to be successful. So what the Santa Ana Unified School District did was create this idea of learning labs. Here at MacArthur, we were lucky to start off on November 30th with 3 learning labs. And of course, this was all based on the county's conditions at the time and how COVID was doing, and all of those health factors are taken into consideration. A lot of planning went into making sure their learning labs were safe for students. We took a long time to develop systems and put practices into place to make sure that when those students arrived, they would be very safe, wearing masks, staying socially distant and whatnot. Of course, we know that in December, things kind of took a turn for the worse with COVID in the county, and all learning labs had to be shut down. So we were so excited when we got to reopen those learning labs second semester. And then we got to open a 4th one, so now we serve about 56 students in our learning labs here at MacArthur, and those are students who need that additional support. So we're really excited to have kids on campus, and of course for us, what is a school without students, right? So for us to be able to see students physically on campus and interact with them has always been a pleasure, and it's really nice. So we're happy to be able to support those students here at school.
Ok, algo que también hizo el distrito para poder apoyar a esos estudiantes que están batallando con tecnología o que no se estaban conectando durante el año escolar fue que hicieron salones de aprendizaje en todas las escuelas. Entonces aquí en la escuela MacArthur empezó en noviembre, pero vinimos como una semana y después fue cuando todo de COVID empeoró, así que se cerraron como por un mes y ya después volvimos a abrir, pero ahorita actualmente tenemos como alrededor de 56 estudiantes y todos estos estudiantes son los estudiantes que a lo mejor tenían muchos problemas con la tecnología, no se conectaban, a lo mejor el servicio en su casa no es de alta calidad de internet por cualquier razón y motivo, pero aquí sabemos que ellos no iban a tener ese problema. Así que, como miran, aquí hay diferentes fotos de los estudiantes y cómo están los salones de aprendizaje aquí en la escuela. Y estamos muy contentos de que hayamos tenido esto porque que es una escuela sin estudiantes. Así que ellos vienen todos los días ahorita, horario regular de 7:50 a 2:25 y nos alegran el día. Estamos aquí afuera con ellos durante el almuerzo, durante nutrición y también durante la salida. Así que, muchas gracias a esos estudiantes que todavía siguen continuando viniendo y ahorita tenemos 56, pero esperamos que pronto puedan ser más.
All right. So there are two things that I also wanted to share that we accomplished or implemented this year, and that is our Tiger Connection, which is also known as Zero Period or Seminar, which has been a huge tool for us to help create community within our school, our virtual campus. And so your students meet with the same teacher 4 days a week for the first 30 minutes of school, and we teach character building, social emotional well-being, and just our coping skills and character traits of the month. We present a lot of information to help keep your kids motivated, give them the same person to connect with every morning, and that has been a huge success. So much that we're going to implement it next year when we return physically to campus. And the other one is morning announcements. We do live morning announcements every Monday and Friday with our ASB students, and this has also given us an opportunity to connect with our kids and create a sense of community and belonging within our students, because without those two things, it'd really just be us showing up, going straight into class, and then going through the day and then going home. And so those are two things we're very proud of. And not that there's a whole lot of good that comes out of this time, COVID, but some of these things are things that are going to stay on our campus for years to come, like morning announcements and Tiger Connection. And so, we've kind of reinvented, what our school will look like through this time, and we're going to come out a stronger and better school. And so we're very proud of that, and we're happy to be able to provide these services to your kids and to you as families as well. So that's kind of what's going on across the campus. And now you're going to get an email with some links to what's going on in each of your students' classrooms. So we kind of covered the community part, and now it's about the academics. So you will get an email similar to the one on the screen here with links for each of your teachers, and they've put together a little presentation to show you what they're doing academically in each class. And so if you could just take a few minutes after we're done here in a few minutes and just go through each one of them and kind of have your students sit next to you and explain to you what they're learning in each of their classrooms.
Entonces ahorita va a ser el tiempo de que usted pueda revisar su correo electrónico para ver si ver que tenga este formulario donde usted puede seleccionar cada maestro y cada clase y ver la presentación que le han preparado para ustedes. Así que puede hacer eso. Y también un poquito, algo que agregamos este año también fue que agregamos la clase de Tiger Connection, que esta clase es en la mañana de 7:50 a 8:20. Entonces ahí es donde hablan con los estudiantes sobre diferentes temas que la consejera y el grupo de Tiger Connection planean para cada estudiante, para la escuela. Y también algo nuevo que hicimos este año fue que hicimos los Good Morning MacArthur, que es Buenos Días MacArthur, y son eso lo miran todos los estudiantes durante Tiger Connection, son los lunes y viernes, y son anuncios importantes que van a pasar en la escuela, diferentes clubes, actividades que están pasando en la escuela para que ellos estén al pendiente. También tenemos presentaciones de diferentes maestros para que los conozcan. Y también hay entrevistas entre maestros y también hay entrevistas de estudiantes. Así que eso es más como noticias, y lo bueno que salió de esto es que estas dos cosas se van a quedar para el año entrante, así que vamos a seguir continuando teniendo Tire Connection y también los anuncios de las mañanas.
All right, thank you for your continued support during distance learning. I know this has been a challenge for us all, and we definitely appreciate everything that you do at home to help us do our job here at school, or at our home if we're teaching from home. This could not be accomplished with just, one part of the triangle doing its job. It takes the students, it takes parents and our teachers, and then kind of the behind the scenes people making things happen as well. So we appreciate it. We're very thankful. We definitely miss our students, and I feel like we're headed towards a return to school in the very near future, and we're excited for that. But for now, just please check your email or your student's email for those links. The links are live, meaning that they will be active for as long as I know, unless the teachers turn them off sometime soon. But you can watch it tonight, or go to the presentations tonight, or tomorrow at your convenience. It's kind of whenever you want. And if you have any questions, you could always email your students' teachers when you have a chance, and they would be more than happy to reply to your emails.
Antes de terminar, nada más le queremos dar las gracias a todos ustedes por acompañarnos, y también muchas gracias por todo el apoyo que nos han dado durante ese aprendizaje a distancia. Sé que ha sido difícil para todos, pero muchas gracias, y que sepan que sin su apoyo no podríamos hacer todo lo que estamos haciendo. Esperamos que se cuiden y que nos veamos pronto. Así que ahorita van a chequear su correo electrónico para ver si le mandaron los enlaces para ver esas presentaciones. Estas presentaciones los pueden ver en su tiempo libre. No se van a expirar, así que no tiene que correr ahorita a hacerlo, pero nada más lo puede hacer en su tiempo libre con su hijo o hija para que lo hagan juntos. Entonces, muchas gracias por acompañarnos.
That's all we have for you. Have a great evening, everyone.
Muchas gracias. Hasta luego.
Thank you.